А что там, что это горит?
Along with the large operation against various Russian military targets in Crimea, Ukraine continued its campaign against Russian strategic targets inside Russian territory. The defense intelligence of Ukraine's forces attacked an underground explosives warehouse on the territory of a chemical plant in the city of Alexin, the Tula region. According to the source, pyroxylene powder was stored in the secure warehouse of the Alexinsky chemical plant. In particular, local residents reported loud explosions and a fire in the industrial area on social media. Later, a video of a powerful explosion and subsequent fire was posted on local channels. Local authorities confirmed the attack, stating that it was repelled by air defense. However, the wreckage of a UAV fell on the territory of the production plant in Alexin. The Alexinsky chemical plant is located about 320 kilometers from the Ukrainian border and specializes in the production of nitrocellulose, which is needed to make gunpowder and composite materials. This is not the first successful attack on this enterprise. In November 2024, the plant was hit by drones during an operation by the Security Service of Ukraine and the Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The attack damaged tanks with concentrated nitric acid and a nitration line. In September 2023, local media reported that the plant had planned to modernize and expand the production of artillery powder of various modifications, as well as to reconstruct the entire engineering infrastructure to increase production volumes. The company is under sanctions from the US, EU, and Ukraine for producing ammunition and supplying other materials to Russia's military-industrial complex. As a reminder, an explosion occurred at the Elastic Gunpowder plant in the Ryazan region on August 15th, killing 28 people and injuring more than 150 others. After the detonation, a large-scale fire broke out and spread to 3 other TDF buildings. Among them were a warehouse with TNT-laden shells and the premises of the second production shop. FSS outpost and patrol boats in Crimea near Armyansk were struck with new Flamingo cruise missiles, not Neptune missiles. After initial reports indicated that Neptune cruise missiles had struck the site, military sources shared with Militarny that the damage was caused by Flamingo cruise missiles, correcting earlier claims made by Astra. The strike took place on the morning of August 30th. A video of the salvo on targets in Russian-controlled territory was published on the Telegram channel Nikolaevsky Vanyok. The footage shows a triple launch from the Ukrainian coast at sunrise. The missiles lifted off one after another using solid fuel boosters and headed toward the target. New low-resolution satellite images from the Copernicus dataspace ecosystem confirm destruction at the site. The images show the outpost's main building destroyed, with surrounding areas also damaged by fire. Due to the low resolution, the full extent of the damage cannot be determined. According to Astra, which mistakenly attributed the strike to Neptune missiles, the attack damaged 6 hovercraft and killed 1 serviceman. It is unclear which boats were hit, but FSS border units in northern Crimea use the A-8 Kivas hovercraft, which can carry up to 8 personnel, and the A-25 PS hovercraft, which can carry 30 to 50 personnel. The attack was part of a wider strike on Crimea in which Mi-8 and Mi-24 helicopters were destroyed at Simferopol Airport. The new weapon was first revealed on August 17th, when Associated Press photojournalist Yefrem Lukatsky published photos of the missile on his Facebook page. According to available data, the Flamingo warhead weighs 1,150 kilograms, with a range of more than 3,000 kilometers. It is resistant to Russian electronic warfare systems, has a top speed of 950 kilometers per hour, and its body is made of fiberglass composite. Production is currently running at 1 missile per day, with plans to expand output. Each missile costs less than 1 million euros. On August 20th, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Flamingo tests were successful and mass production would begin early next year. He noted that the program's pace depends directly on funding. Russian troops staged another flag show in Leontovichi on the Pokrovsk front, raising a flag before hiding in a house. Both the flag and the soldiers were quickly destroyed by Ukrainian artillery and drones. once again proving such stunts are pure propaganda. Ukrainian armed forces controls Leontovichi. Russian commanders frequently claim to have captured settlements, but these reports are often false or exaggerated. And the Ukrainian defense forces have successfully liberated the village of Mirn, located northwest of Kupansk. Suspilny reported on this, citing Viktor Trahubov, spokesperson for the Dnipro Operational Strategic Group. According to Trahubov, Ukrainian units have not only driven the enemy out of Mirn, but are also continuing to advance, maintaining pressure on opposing forces. As of now, the Russians have been pushed out of Mirn. There is no information about wounded or killed Russian soldiers. The military is advancing further, Trahubov said. These changes are also confirmed by the map from the deep state community, which marks the village itself and one of its districts as liberated. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, in its published maps, notes that the enemy carried out 9 attacks on defense forces positions in the areas of Petropavlivka and Kupiansk over the past day. Currently, Russian forces are exerting significant pressure from the northern part of the city, deploying a large number of combat-ready units there. Militarny previously reported that units of the 10th Army Corps, together with attached elements, repelled the first Russian mechanized assault in a long time in the Kupiansk sector. It is reported that the enemy decided to make a push toward the left bank part of the city of Kupiansk. For this, a mechanized assault group was assembled, consisting of 2 tanks, 3 MTLBs, and approximately 40 enemy personnel. In addition to the 10th Army Corps, the newly formed 16th Army Corps has also been assigned the task of defending the Kharkiv region from the invaders. It is expected that the 16th Army Corps will gradually take over the functions previously performed by the Kharkiv Tactical Group. Russian oil companies saw their profits plunge in the first half of the year as weaker crude prices and a stronger ruble hit earnings. Rosneft PJSC, which is controlled by the state and produces more than a third of Russia's oil, reported net income of 245 billion rubles, $3 billion, for the first 6 months, a fall of more than 68% compared with the same period in 2024, the company said in a statement. The first half of this year was characterized by lower oil prices, primarily due to the overproduction of oil, Rosneft Chief Executive Officer Igor Sekin said in the statement. In addition, there was an expansion of discounts on Russian oil due to the tightening of EU and US sanctions restrictions and a significant strengthening of the ruble exchange rate, which negatively affected the financial results of all exporters. The sharp fall followed weaker results from Rosneft's peers, Lukoil PJSC, Russia's second-largest producer, and Gazprom Neft PJSC, the oil division of Gazprom, both recorded profit declines of more than 50% in the first half of the year, compared with a year earlier. Smaller rival Tatneft PJSC reported a 62% drop. The industry slump came as lower global crude prices hit oil majors worldwide. Prices have been pressured by fears of a glut, with OPEC Plus returning curtailed supply faster than expected, and by the risk that U.S. President Donald Trump's tariff policy could slow the global economy. It remains uncertain how much of the profit decline was directly caused by Western sanctions and restrictions. These measures were imposed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine with the aim of curbing the Kremlin's access to funds for the war. Russia's main export blend, Urals, averaged $58 a barrel in the first half of this year, more than 13% lower than in the same period a year ago, according to Bloomberg calculations using data from Argus Media. The ruble also strengthened sharply, gaining almost 23% against the US dollar to reach 78 per dollar as of June 30th, compared with the end of last year. The rise in the currency, supported by Russia's key interest rates staying near record highs, meant producers received fewer rubles for each barrel of oil sold. Although the central bank cut borrowing costs by 300 basis points in meetings in June and July, Sechin said the pace of easing was clearly insufficient. One of the consequences of maintaining the key interest rate at an elevated level for a long time is the excessive appreciation of the ruble, which leads to losses for both the Russian budget and exporting companies, Sechin said. He added that this also increases debt servicing costs, undermines the financial stability of corporate borrowers, and reduces investment potential.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.